When you open your credit card statement, the minimum payment is the first number you see. It is boxed. It is bolded. It is front and center. And it is not there to help you. That number is designed by behavioral scientists working for credit card companies to do one thing: make you pay as little as possible for as long as possible. There's a name for this in psychology. It is called anchoring. And it is the reason a $5,000 credit card balance can take over 17 years to pay off and cost you more than $11,000. This is not an accident. This is engineering. Over the next few minutes, I will show you the 3 psychological tricks built into the minimum payment system. I will explain why paying the minimum actually triggers a reward response in your brain, even though it barely touches your debt. And there is one design feature hidden in the formula itself that guarantees your debt gets paid off slower every single month, even as you keep making payments. But first, let me introduce you to Rachel. Rachel is 28, medical assistant in Tampa, makes $41,000 a year. She has a credit card balance of $4,800. Her APR is 23%. Her minimum payment is $96 a month. Rachel pays it every month, on time, never misses. She feels responsible. She checks the box, payment made. She moves on with her week. What Rachel does not realize is that of her $96 payment, roughly $82 goes to interest. Only $14 goes to her actual balance. $14 on a $4,800 debt. At that rate, Rachel will be making payments for over 15 years. She will pay approximately $4,300 in interest. She borrowed $4,800. She will pay back $9,100. And she thinks she is handling it. Here is the first trick. When you open your statement, you see 2 numbers: your total balance and the minimum payment. Research from Wharton shows that the minimum payment acts as an anchor. Your brain latches onto it as the reference point. Without the anchor, your brain would ask, how much of this balance should I eliminate? With the anchor, your brain asks, can I afford $96? That is a completely different question. One leads to paying off debt. The other leads to managing debt. And the credit card company wants you managing, not eliminating, because every month you manage. They earn interest. Every month you carry a balance. They profit. The anchor does not just suggest a payment amount. It lowers your sense of urgency. It makes the problem feel smaller than it is. And when a problem feels small, people respond small. Here is where it gets worse. When Rachel pays her minimum, something happens in her brain. She gets a small hit of dopamine, the same reward chemical triggered when you complete a task. A check the box. Payment made. Relief. Her brain registers it as progress. But here is the truth. She paid $96. $14 went to her balance. Her debt dropped from $4,800 to $4,786. That is a 0.3% reduction. Her brain felt 100% relief. The dopamine tells her she handled it. The math says she barely moved. This is the second design feature. Minimum payments give you the feeling of progress, without the reality of progress. And that feeling is enough to stop most people from paying more. The third trick is the most invisible, and possibly the most effective. Your minimum payment is calculated as a percentage of your balance, usually 2%. As your balance slowly drops, your minimum payment also drops. Month 1. Rachel's minimum is $96. Month 12, it drops to $92. Month 24, it drops to $87. Month 48, it drops to $73. Her payment gets smaller, which means even less goes to principal, which means the balance drops even slower, which means the minimum drops even more. It is a self-reinforcing cycle, a payment system that slows itself down over time. By year 5, Rachel is still making payments. Her minimum has fallen to about $68, of which $60 goes to interest, and $8 goes to her balance. $8 a month after 5 years of payments. This is not a flaw in the system. This is the system. In the 1970s, minimum payments were typically 5% of the balance. That meant debts were paid off in reasonable time frames. Over the decades, credit card companies lowered the minimum from 5% to 4, to 3, to 2. Each reduction meant more months of payments, more interest collected, more profit. A 5% minimum on a $5,000 balance at 23% pays off the debt in about 7 years. Total interest, roughly $2,200. A 2% minimum on the same balance takes 17 years. Total interest, roughly $6,500. Same balance, same rate. The only thing that changed was the minimum, and the interest nearly tripled. Now let me show you what this system actually costs Rachel. She has carried her balance for 2 years already, paying the minimum every month. In those 2 years, she has paid approximately $2,300. Her balance has dropped from $4,800 to $4,200. She paid $2,300. Her debt dropped $600. $1,700 went to the bank in 2 years from a woman making $41,000 a year. If Rachel continues paying only the minimum for the remaining 13 years, she will pay an additional $4,300 in interest. Total interest over 15 years, $6,000 on a $4,800 balance. She will pay back $10,800, more than double what she borrowed. The bank did not force her to borrow, but it designed a system that anchored her to the smallest payment, rewarded her brain for making it, and shrank the payment every month to keep her paying longer. 3 tricks, 15 years, $6,000. If you are carrying a credit card balance right now, pull up your latest statement and look at the minimum payment amount. Then look at the total balance. The gap between those two numbers is where the system lives. Here is how to break the design. Step 1. Freeze your current minimum. Whatever the minimum is right now, lock it in. Set autopay at that exact amount. Even when the minimum drops next month, your payment stays the same. This one change, without adding a single extra dollar, can cut Rachel's payoff time from 15 years to under 7 and save her over $2,000 in interest. Takes about 5 minutes to set up in your bank's autopay. Step 2. Add a fixed amount, even $30 a month above the minimum. On Rachel's balance, that cuts payoff from 15 years to about 4 and saves over $4,000 in interest. $30. $7.50 a week. Step 3. Stop looking at the minimum. This is the hardest one. The anchor only works if you look at it. Instead of asking, what is my minimum? Ask, what is the most I can pay this month? That question reverses the anchor. And it is the single most powerful sentence in credit card debt. Minimum payments were not designed to help you pay off debt. They were designed by people who understand how your brain works. They use anchoring to lower your urgency. They trigger dopamine to make you feel like you handled it. And they shrink the payment every month to keep you paying longer. 3 tricks working together on every statement, every month. The system is not broken. It is working exactly as designed, just not for you. What is your current credit card balance? Tell me in the comments. Drop minimum if you have been paying only the minimum. Drop frozen if you are going to freeze your payment after this video. Drop free if you already paid off your card. Or drop stuck if you are not sure what to do next. If you are not sure how much of your payment goes to interest, describe your balance and rate in the comments. I will help you figure it out. My minimum payments math video shows the exact numbers on every balance size. And my debt payoff video shows which method works fastest. Both on your screen. Subscribe to Wealth Storyline. Every week, we break down the money systems most Americans were never taught. See you there. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered financial advice.